This week on the Xander Effect, model turned singer April Doyle talks about her new song Tears Are Gone, plus future plans for April and the Velvet Room. Also on the Xander Effect, artist JP Castillo talks about touring with Jennifer Lopez, future music, and also performing with the band on Dancing with the Stars.
At like 3 p.m. or whatever, coming home from school and like...
I also showcase JP Castillo's Jugar al Amor. All this plus this week in entertainment, sports, and video games starts right now. Hi everyone, welcome to the Xander Effect. I'm your host, Xander Dames. This past week, there was speculations going around about Jamie Foxx and Kate Beckinsale dating because they were seen at an event at Catch LA getting very close. As all events go with celebrities, they tend to take pictures with one another, the press, everybody's there, they're all taking pictures, but a lot of people that attended the event were noticing that both Jamie Foxx and Kate Beckinsale were not only close with each other while they were taking pictures, but even in between. So there's a lot of speculation that something might be going on there. They may be dating. The rumor mill has gone completely bananas over the two people, over both of them, seeing the way they were at this event. And I mean, with good reason, because everybody knows that Jamie Foxx is a very private individual. When he was dating Katie Holmes, nobody knew about it. There was a lot, again, same thing like it's going on right now. There was a lot of speculation, a lot of rumors, but nothing was concrete until I think it was probably a year after they were dating that they actually started to be seen with one another in public. And even Jamie got upset at one point during an interview because they were asking him about Katie Holmes, and he just didn't want to have anything about that. He actually just got up and left the interview because he got upset over the questions in regards to his private life. So this leads us to believe and possibly think that there might be, not just us, but anybody that has two eyes that saw them at Catch LA, leads them to believe that there might be something there between him and Kate Beckinsale. I mean, Kate just filed for divorce. Actually, she just finished the divorce proceedings with her ex-husband, Len Wiseman, and she was also, and I use this word very, very loosely, seen dating Pete Davidson shortly after. But that was a very small, very brief affair that they had. And, Jamie Foxx just broke up with Katie Holmes over the summer as well. So they're both single. Are they on the rebound? Yeah, maybe, I guess. Maybe more Jamie than Kate is, really. So who knows what's going to happen with these two, but one thing's for sure, obviously in the pictures you see them, the body language there is very obvious that there must be something going on there. There must be some sort of an attraction between the two. Something's happening, or maybe it's just, two friends just, getting to know each other, like just being friends, I guess. Who knows? And it's anybody's guess at this point. They're both single, and looks like they they're ready to mingle apparently, according to the pictures. In other entertainment news, I had the wonderful pleasure and opportunity to interview former model, now singer, April Doyle from April and the Velvet Room. She gave us a little insight on her projects coming up and who had she performed for in the past. Check it out.
We said goodbye, but here we are again. I think that we can make it if we tried as friends. 'Cause the way it used to be, it just had to end. And all my tears are gone. We fight to see through the stormy clouds, not doing very well. It's so hard to break old habits and make things right, as far as I can tell. You tell me you love me as you're walking away. So what does that mean when you say it that way? We said goodbye, but here we are again. I think that we could make it if we tried as friends. 'Cause the way we used to be, it just had to end. And all my tears are gone. It used to feel like broken glass, too many scars left from careless words. But now looking back, so much time has passed. I hope it's taught us something, and maybe now we can be the story with a happy ending. We said goodbye, but here we are again. I think that we could make it if we tried as friends. 'Cause the way things used to be, it just had to end. And all my tears are gone. Looking back on all the years, looking back, so many tears are gone. Moving on. We said goodbye, but here we are again. I think that we could make it if we tried as friends. 'Cause the way things used to be, it just had to end. And all my tears are gone. We said goodbye, but here we are again. I think that we could make it if we tried as friends. 'Cause the way things used to be, it just had to end. We said goodbye, but here we are again. There's got to be a reason. Can we try it out as friends? 'Cause the way things used to be, we knew it had to end. And all my tears are gone.
So we just heard Tears Are Gone by April and the Velvet Room. And April, thank you for joining the Xander Effect.
So glad to be here.
Awesome. So listening to the song, it sounds a little bit like it's a breakup song. I mean, does it have to do with anybody in particular? Is it a breakup song, or how did this song come about?
You know, it's kind of I am over the breakup. It's kind of like generic, like for when people get through a breakup and life rolls on
Mhm.
and they're okay, it's like my tears are gone. It's like I'm kind of done with the upset and the all that, and I'm moving on. It's kind of a moving on to tomorrow thing rather than a sad thing. I know it has kind of a sad tone to it, but it's kind of like a life rolls on deal.
Like an empowering type of song.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Okay, I could get on board with that. So my question is, did you always want to be a singer? Because I know you come from the modeling industry. Let's talk a little bit about, your past as a model. How did that all start?
Well, I was going into acting and modeling primarily, and loving it, and dealing with that aspect of the industry and the arts. And then I joined a band. They just kind of said, "Do you want to come out and sing with us?" And this was one of the first major corporate acts. It's kind of like your day job music.
Hmm.
And this band took off, and we were all over the country working like 25, 27 nights a month. It was a little crazy, and I just didn't have time for the other stuff. So, and I was also a makeup artist, so I was doing makeup for a very well-known photographer in the hair and beauty industry,
Hmm.
Paul Mitchell and Irvin Rusk and all these major companies, Joico, and that was Nexus, and that was fun. But the music just was kind of the big deal on the plate and needed the most attention. So um, I just kind of morphed over into just music.
And was the band that you were involved with, was that the Hot Chili Productions?
No, I decided to do my own. It's actually Haute Chile, and nobody
Hot
says it.
Chili.
That's
Sorry, Hot
it's a
Chili.
little odd name, but yeah, I just decided, well, I understand this beast, this part of the music industry. I'm going to go do this myself, kind of run it myself. So it's still going very well. We've just shot some new promotional videos that keep us working, and it's like our day job music. But it's all industry guys. They're all amazing. They all have bragging rights for days, so they all love to play together. So yes, we're playing. We tailor an event for Mercedes. Will take their top sellers to Kauai for like a thank you, and we'll be the final night like party band.
Hmm.
So we tailor the event to the age, what type of event it is, award ceremony, whatever. So again, I'm working with all these industry guys, and we come up with these beautiful shows depending on the age range and what type of event it is, and that's kind of like what we do on the side. And then we all pretty much have our original stuff that we work on, and we support each other in the songwriting and the recording and all those aspects as well.
Awesome. And I see here that you've also performed for many socialite events. You performed for Hugh Hefner. That must have been a very interesting experience.
That was very interesting. That was Gary Busey and the cast from 90210, and this is back in the day. This is when he turned 80. I don't know what year that was. I'm horrible with the years, but
I think it was 1920, because Hugh Hefner, I swear, he's like immortal, or he was immortal for a very long time. He's like,
really,
God, the guy never aged. Even when he passed, he didn't even look his age.
yeah, this was Kevin Costner was there, and it was a beautiful freak show. It was.
That's a very kind way of putting it.
Yeah.
But but
Scott
besides,
Baio. You got to know Scott Baio was there, right? He went to every.
as conservative as Scott Baio has become, it's funny how he was a very open individual back during that time. So it's interesting to see how he's morphed
Yeah,
over the years.
yeah,
But besides Hugh Hefner, you also did stuff with presidential elections.
yeah. That we've done well. We've done a lot of that stuff.
For which ones? Which presidents?
We did stuff for some of the Clinton stuff. It was some of the private, because they have so many parties that
Mhm.
are like connected to inaugural ball. It wasn't the actual inaugural ball. It was like all these little side. They're all trying to raise money for the candidates in different ways, and so we were involved in a lot of different campaigns ever since like the early 2000s. I mean, it's we've been involved in, because we do all kind of upper scale, high-end fundraising deals to a celebrity. We've done a lot of sports celebrities weddings, and we're not a wedding band, but you know, if somebody really wants us to perform at them, we will. But again, yeah, that's my side deal, and it's great, but I just decided it was time to work on my original project. So
But you're still, so your brainchild is April and the Velvet Room. That's your brainchild. And what you're doing with that is, and it's obviously a band, right?
yes.
Okay, so it's a band, and you're trying to create what exactly? Where do you see this band going in the near future? I mean, I'm sure this is one of many songs I'm sure that you have for an album that you have in mind.
Oh no, the album's done actually.
Okay.
We're kind of like dropping songs, you know, looking at for the right timing, and there's videos already completed, like 3 or 4 videos that are done, and we're kind of waiting to pick the right venue. We've got some places up in LA and some in Orange County that we're deciding where we want to do like the actual, you know, album party and all that. There's no rush on that. It's actually, because, you know, working with the level of players that I work with, it's been so beautiful to piecemeal all this together with like the most beautiful material, so to speak, the players and the music. Kevin Flournoy is the musical director and keyboard player, and he works with Shaka Khan, Babyface, the Pointer Sisters, this week he's working with Jeffrey Osborne somewhere. He's always doing something major, and he's very quiet and very to himself. But when he comes out, he brings the big guns. Like
nice.
Everybody he would bring in the studio, he would go, "You know who that guy plays with?" I'm like, "No, tell me." And he was like, "Okay, Dad." So my percussionist was Stevie Wonder's percussionist.
Oh, nice.
One day we had the Steely Dan guitar player. One day we had, I mean, it goes on for days, just like people that were iconic in the past and are like major right now. So it was like a pat on the back, because I felt like it sort of validated the material to know that this level of artistry was being called in, you know. So that's been really cool. So I've been spending so much time on so many other people's projects for so long, helping them with style, because I'm a stylist and a makeup artist, and I help the photographers, and then I write music and all this other aspects. So to stop for a second and focus on, you know, doing it from at home, so to speak, has been a very eye-opening and a good experience. But just like it's interesting how I'm so more apt to try to, you know, fill in the gaps for other people.
And it seems that besides that, I also noticed that you're also an animal activist as well.
Woohoo! Pit bulls, bull terriers. Yep, that's my deal. I donate a lot of the proceeds that we've gotten from a lot of different events to I donate to Greenpeace. I donate to PETA. In fact, we do private events for PETA. We did one recently up in Bel Air. That was a beautiful thing. And sometimes they keep these events quiet, and these people come in and just, they help the animals. I mean, you know, I know there's a lot of people are put off by animal activism, because there's some people go, especially PETA has gone to the limit in a lot of different aspects.
They've gone to the extreme.
Yes. And a lot of people don't like that, but you know what? Sometimes you really got to knock on people's heads to get them to listen to you. So I can't find any fault, and I support them wholeheartedly. And ALDF, you know, and then there's these getting the circuses to shut down. And so I sign a lot of petitions. I write to a lot of government. I read it. That's my deal. I feel like, you know, we're here, we get to choose and have good lives, and the animals don't really get all that choice. And I
agree.
Like, got to knock on that door and sign petitions and speak up, and, you know, I be a cause for change while you're here. Before you go, help something, you know, like contribute to something.
I agree. I have 2 fur babies myself. So, you know, I have a dog and a cat. I have a little Maltese Shih Tzu and a beautiful little gray cat that, he gets more women than I do in just an hour. So I mean, it's kind of a jealousy thing. But no, I love them. I love them both. And like I was raised to basically understand that they don't have a voice to speak up for themselves. Someone has to speak up for them.
Yep.
You know, so I'm in totally agreement with that. I mean, I'm not a vegetarian. I'm not going to go to that extreme and say I'm a vegetarian or anything, but I do respect, you know, animals, and you know, I'm against animal cruelty completely. You know, discipline your animals, yes. I mean, just like you would discipline children, it's the same.
Yep.
It's the same concept, you know. But don't like beat them or anything.
Right.
It's the same type. It's the same type of abuse. Just because they're an animal doesn't mean that they need to be abused.
Exactly.
It's wrong, you know. And I'm totally for that as well.
And if you don't know about the breed that you have, for example, like a terrier, I don't care whether it's 2 pounds or it's a pit bull. If you don't know about terriers and that they need to go out and run and that they're very type A, then you shouldn't have one. Don't say it's a bad dog and a bad breed. Go get a breed that's more low key, fits your personality.
I had a Scotty Terrier, actually. I had a little mix of a Scotty Terrier, and I love that dog to death.
They're great. They're little toughies, man.
Oh yeah, she lasted me many years. She lasted me for a good 17 years.
Yeah.
And you know, I was heartbroken when she passed. She was we called her the little nurse, because whenever I was sick, or whenever any of us were sick, she was right at our bedside, just guarding us the entire time. The most adorable animal.
They're beautiful. And you know what I say to a lot of people in a very difficult world? Animals are like this sweet, simple thing. They just want to be with you. They want time.
Noble creatures.
Pat on the head, a little bit of food. But I had a little Cairn Terrier, which is just like a Scotty. And we called him the little general.
Nice.
He chased off 2 Dobermans one day. He was this tall.
Yep.
And these dogs were running at him, and he stuck his little chest out and took off for like, you know, terriers that got a beautiful little proud.
And they love to sing. I mean, mine loved to sing. Whenever I would go ahead and play the harmonica, she would be howling along with it. She always sang along with it. So, but that's cool that you're doing animal activism. You're using a lot of the skills that you had in the modeling world in the music world.
Yeah, you know what, all the arts kind of are hand in hand, so to speak. They kind of, you know, support each other in different ways. Style is my deal. I'm sick for style. I've French Vogue. I'm right there. Male, the French Vogue for men and women. It's a whole different thing than the Vogue here. There's just the European fashion, and it's just really cool. It's just a different form of art, you know, just like music. Look at the different styles of music, the different styles of clothes, the different styles of, there's just so many ways that art plays out of people. And I've had so many people say to me, oh, I can't sing. I said, well, you know, you have music in you. It's just going to come, it's coming out a different way than it comes out of me. You know, I think that everybody has art and it just shows up differently.
Very true. Very true. I mean, I'm one of those people that actually, I thought that I mean, I could sing. Sometimes I can't, but you know, I mean, my artistic ability, I do what I can with what I know and how I know it. That's about as much as I can do, you know? But yeah, I mean, it's art is art. And like you said, they all coincide together. They all like come in together one way or another. So
I think it's the higher form of human beings. Mm-hmm. Actually, the way that we get past the, you know, the animal part of us that makes us compete and, you know, get mad on the freeway and road rage and all that.
Yeah.
But, you know, that's the upper scale part of our brains, I think, is how does art come out of you? Is it music? Is it drawing? Is it clothing design? There's so many different ways. Jewelry, is it, you know, it's so interesting. It just comes out of people differently.
So how many songs do you have coming out this year alone?
Well, I have, we're working on some new stuff right now. I have 12, there's 12 on the album. There's going to be a couple remixes, and the album has an interesting feeling because the way it started, it sort of blossomed into something I never imagined, because I just wanted to go initially record some classic, beautiful songs that meant a lot to me personally. Stuff from Nancy Wilson, stuff from Phyllis Hyman, stuff from Luther Vandross, the stuff like that, stuff that I just adored.
Yeah, because your style is classic neo jazz funk, is from what I understand.
Yeah, and that's what I want people to hear more of, the more as these other songs come out, because some of the classic songs that I recorded didn't have that feeling, because I wanted to, pay an homage to them and not change them too much. I don't like sometimes when people flip things too much. It seems to me there should be a little bit of a nod to the classic part of it. And so then the other, so Kevin and I started working on this. He was leading me into the studio sessions, etc. And then all of a sudden, all this original stuff just kind of came out of nowhere. I'm like, cool, okay, yeah, let's add this. So the first album is a little bit more of a melange of different styles and everything. The ones after this will be a little bit more cohesive, but we are going to do one that's all strings too. That's going to be really beautiful, just like maybe an orchestra.
Ooh, that would be nice.
Yeah.
Well, I look forward to that. I look forward maybe even to going to one of your live shows. That'd be great to go ahead and check out one of your live shows.
Awesome.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as the music videos are ready to be seen, just let me know. I'd love to go ahead and feature one of your music videos.
Thank you.
On my show, and I'd love to have you back again.
Every time we perform, you don't know who's going to be in the Velvet Room that night. There's going to be, it's definitely not just about me, because of all the badasses, excuse me, I don't know if I'm allowed to say
It's okay, you can. It's fine.
The amazing artistry and artists that are on stage with me already, they're going to be singing lead, they're going to be featured. So it's not just me in any given show. That's what's going to be so interesting about it. It's everything from Grace Jones to current, and then you're going to hear a lot of different major vocalists. Certain people will be featured musically, whether it's guitar or, the people that I use are on the road a lot with the different people. So that's another interesting aspect. It's like, who can be on my show? Okay, well, we're going to feature you on this show because you're in town right now. Awesome. Somebody from Stevie Wonder's band is in town and can be on the show. And then somebody from Babyface's, whatever. There's like I said, it's quite a daunting group of guys, and I'm just kind of like, thank you. So glad that you're supporting this, and so glad to be working with you.
Nice. Well, again, I look forward to more of your projects. I look forward to music videos that I can feature on here. I look forward to maybe doing a follow-up with you very soon and seeing where else you go from here.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you, April. Thank you, April, so much for being on the show, and we'll talk to you very soon. Thank you so much, April, for being on the Xander Effect. Looking forward to more music and your music videos coming soon. In other entertainment news, Taylor Swift is disputing with Scooter Braun and Scott Borchetta from Big Machine over some of her music that according to Taylor, they are blocking her from singing at the AMAs. Now, the AMAs are coming up, and Taylor is being honored by receiving the Artist of the Decade Award. And in honor of that honor, Taylor was planning on singing a lot of her hits, both from the past, present, possibly future, from her entire career, or spanning this entire decade. Now, some of those songs belong still to Big Machine up until November of 2020. Their argument is basically, well, according to Taylor, is that they're blocking her. They're not allowing her to sing the songs because they belong to them. So there's a little bit of an argument there going on, but later on, actually as of today, it seems that Big Machine is saying that we have no legal right to block you from singing any of these songs. No label can block you from doing that. Go for it, have at it. They were just arguing something completely different that had nothing to do with that. And it just seems that Taylor was just, I don't know, maybe she was just being dramatic over the situation. Even her friends, even her friend Selena Gomez came to her aid and backed her up on a lot of what she was saying. There's other issues that Big Machine. She said that Big Machine had, this had something to do with. There's a documentary going on that Netflix is going to be doing on Taylor Swift, and apparently there was also talks that Big Machine had a problem that she was singing songs that belonged to them on this documentary, because it was the documentary, the AMAs were going to be a part of that documentary, seen as Taylor Swift is being honored with this award. So obviously they were going to use that footage on the documentary for Taylor Swift. So there was a lot of conflict going on between the two of them, but at the end of it all, Big Machine said, you know what, Taylor, have at it, have fun, do the songs. The way I look at it is that it's more publicity for Big Machine anyway. You know, that it was their song, so they're getting a lot of publicity. Taylor just did them a favor, actually, by creating this drama and giving them this type of publicity. Granted, it's not the best publicity, but they did put a spin on it and made it seem like, hey, we were just arguing something completely different that had nothing to do with you performing at the AMAs these songs. They were arguing something else, and, you know, thanks for the publicity, I guess. So, Taylor, have fun at the AMAs. Go ahead and do what you gotta do. In other entertainment news, I had another opportunity this week to interview up-and-coming artist JP Castillo. Now, JP has done a lot of music throughout his entire life. He comes from a music family, parents that played with Tito Puentes and a few other well-known artists in the music industry. And he even got to tour with Jennifer Lopez and performed for Dancing with the Stars. Check it out. So joined on the Xander Effect right now is JP Castillo. JP, how you doing?
What's up, man? I'm good.
Awesome, man. Awesome. So I hear you're doing pretty big things. You're, you know, growing in the industry. You've been working with a lot of big names, and yeah, man. I mean, seems like you're really getting up there.
Man, thank you. Appreciate that. No, man, it's just been a lot of hard work and you know, it's starting to pay off. So it's been a good year, man. It's been some good experiences, gotten to tour a lot and just do a lot of cool shows and getting my music out there more and more. So yeah, it's been good.
Cool. Well, before we get started on the tour, let's get a little background on where you come from. So I understand that your mother was a singer and she did stuff with Joan Sebastian, Tito Puente, and Celia Cruz, among other great acts. I mean, how was that like growing up in that type of environment?
Yeah, man, it was crazy. It was just music 24/7. It was it became like a very normal thing for me to be with musicians at rehearsals. You know, my dad would take me to the studio. He's always had his own studio. And
yeah, because he was also a drummer, like nationally known drummer as well. He was also in the music industry.
Yeah. He was a very recognized drummer. He kind of stepped away from drumming and got more into engineering and stuff like that. And so, I mean, I would have late nights in the studio. I was a little kid just falling asleep at the studio and, you know, bored at rehearsals with my parents and stuff like that. You know, it was just a very normal thing for me coming home from school, you know, at like 3 p.m. or whatever, coming home from school and like, you know, couches are off to the side and like, you know, things are all crazy and it's like a full band rehearsal in the living room and stuff like that, you know. So just music was just a very normal everyday thing in my life growing up.
So music has always flowed through your system, you know, since birth practically. Since even before birth, since you were a kid and everything. What made the decision? What was your decision to go ahead and actually start breaking out more and more? Was like, because I mean, obviously you grew up in music, obviously, but was that something that you knew you were going to be, or was that something that you just decided, you know what, it's around me, it's in me, let's go ahead and move forward with this, let's do something with this?
Yeah, that wasn't something I decided until maybe, you know, my last year of high school. Like when I was a senior is when I really, really started leaning towards being a musician and kind of taking it serious. You know, I grew up, like I said, all around music, in music, at church, you know, playing in the worship band, and because I was a drummer first. You know, I would sing on occasion just for like something special, like a Mother's Day song or something, you know what I mean, to do something for mom or something like that. But it was never something that I took seriously until senior year. I did a talent show, a talent contest in my high school. I won, and that kind of started letting me know, it's like, okay, you got something, you know, like it's fun. I like doing this. And then I got into college, and I became a music major, started studying drums and percussion. And one time we did a show, a big concert in front of the whole school. Everybody was there, parents, families, everybody. And I sang a song. And this was kind of out of character for me at the time. Like, a bunch of my friends and people who were there were like, wait, what? He's going to sing? And so I just came out and did it. And I remember, like, people to this day still tell me like, man, I remember the first time I saw you when you did that thing. And it was like, what? This guy sings. And it was a new thing for a lot of people. And from that point on, I just knew, man, that like being on stage, connecting with people and just having that vibe and performing, you know, I just really, really enjoy performing, making people feel something and having that interaction, man. And so I knew that being behind a percussion rig, drums, I wasn't going to be able to do everything that I wanted to do. So
it was like you're home. You pretty much, you were home.
I was home, and I felt great. It was like the opposite of like nervous, or the opposite of like fearful. You know what I mean? It just felt right. And yeah, man, I started writing a lot of music, started writing songs, working with different people, branching out into I'm in LA, you know, so there's a lot of resources out here. So just working with a lot of people, getting to know some good people that I still stay in touch with and work with today. And yeah, that kind of started me on the journey.
Nice. So now that you're on this journey, obviously, I mean, singing's one thing. Do you also dance? Is there acting? I mean, what other genres of the entertainment world are you involved with?
Man, I've never shied away from any of it. I actually really, really do enjoy acting. It's something that I want to explore more and more as I kind of like take different steps, you know, and do different things. Acting is something that's always been intriguing and also very fun for me. So I've done a little bit of that. One of my first professional gigs, you know, was at Disney, performing as Aladdin, playing Aladdin. They used to
Nice.
have this big, yeah, man.
Disneyland here in Cali, or Disneyland in Orlando, or?
Well, California Adventure. The other
okay.
Disney. They used to have this big Aladdin show. They used to have this big old Broadway style Aladdin show. And it's a really dope production.
That must have been a lot of fun. That must have been so much fun.
It was amazing. I was really, really green, man. I was learning, you know, I was like, it was my first kind of thing at that level of that magnitude. It was a very big production, you know. I auditioned, didn't know what I was doing, but I got the part, and that was like a lot of acting heavy, you know. They actually wanted me to like not sing so much. Like some of the notes I would get in rehearsals was like, hey, you're singing too much. Like, stop singing. I was like, what? Like, I didn't understand what that. I was like, what are you talking? Like, I'm singing. Yeah, I'm singing the song.
You're like,
you know what I mean?
Words are coming out of your mouth, but I'm not understanding them.
Right. It's just like, what? You know, and it was just that, like, understanding like the acting elements of it, and kind of, you know, falling into the character more and portraying the actual role, you know. So that was like, you know, you mentioning acting, that was something that where I started kind of realizing that that's something that I also want to pursue. But I mean, I've danced a lot as well in my career, had a lot of shows, and from that, you know, I did all different kinds of shows that I've been performing as a performer, as a professional performer. With the Jacksons, you know, I went on tour with them, and there was a lot of
I was going to ask about that as well too. So
yeah, that was a heavy dance thing. You know, I wouldn't call myself a dancer, you know what I mean? I've never like been an actual just a dancer, but it's something that I also find fun. It's something cool.
Well, it also, like, I also understand, you know, let's fast forward a little bit to what's going on, that you were in the It's My Party tour with Jennifer Lopez.
Yeah.
How was that experience? How did you get involved with that?
Man, that was another one of those situations. You know, I like I said, I grew up in music and in the LA music scene and everything. And so they gave me a call out of nowhere. I just got the call. I'm friends with the musical director. I've known him for a long time. We've done a lot of work together, and they were looking for a percussionist. And I was honored to be a part of that, and to work with J-Lo, and to just go on the road with her, watch her closely, you know, learn from her, get to spend time with her. And it all ended up culminating in me actually opening up the shows, which was incredible. I got to, I was opening up for her and performing my songs and introducing, myself to a whole new audience and stuff.
She was able to give you that type of opportunity to go ahead and showcase your work to the world.
Yeah, her and her management, they heard my music, they saw my videos, and they liked what they saw. They were impressed, and they asked me to open. And I did the first show that we did overseas, and from that point on, they were like, "Yeah, just do the rest of the run, man. You're killing it." So.
Because I've heard, I've known that Jennifer Lopez always is really good at motivating and at showcasing new talent. I mean, she gave Becky G her big break. She basically helped Becky G with her big break as well. So, I mean, there's, I know Jennifer Lopez loves doing that for a lot of up and coming artists. I mean, I'm surprised she hasn't started her own record label, to be honest with you, unless she has.
Yeah. She has the power to do that, man. She could definitely do that.
I mean, she has this eye for talent, and I'm sure she saw the same thing in you as well. That's why she went ahead and decided to go ahead and give you that type of opportunity.
Yeah, it was great, man. I'm really grateful to her for the opportunity, and it's something that I'll never forget. You know what I mean? I'll always be grateful for that. And it really has helped my career, and it was just an incredible learning experience as well. Just things that I'll always carry with me that I learned from her.
Well, besides that experience, you've also been on Dancing with the Stars as well too. Like you were also in the band of Dancing with the Stars. How was that?
That's
like?
Right. That was a few years back. That was one of the first times that I got to experience, live TV and working in that environment and what that's like. And it's all just been preparing me for what I'm doing now. That was a lot of fun, man. Ray Chu and that amazing band and the amazing work that they do. I got to do several seasons of that with them. It was a lot of fun, man. It's all learning experiences. It's all just working, doing what you love and putting in that work. And all of that led me to where I am now, to realizing I want to share my own music, my own voice,
So seeing as a lot of these things, you mentioned learning experiences. I watched the music video Jugar al Amor, and in that video, it just seems like that must be from a learning experience as well, dealing with maybe a romantic life. I don't know. Tell us a little bit about that.
Nah, man. Well, that song definitely drawn from real life. You know what I mean? It's definitely something that happens a lot. It hasn't happened to me personally, actually. That's not a my story, my personal thing. But I like to draw from life, for music, and to connect. Because we can all connect to these different things in one way or another. And for me, sometimes music, kind of in the realm of what we were talking about with acting and with storytelling and all that. For me, music is a super powerful tool for that. And it's fun. It's fun to be able to just tell a story and get into a character and perform a song. And for me, it's not always something that I personally maybe have gone through, but it's like I want to tell this story. You know what I mean? So that's kind of the journey of that song. The video goes along with it. My videos, to this point, they all kind of tell a story, and they're very story driven. And so I like doing that. I like telling a story, painting the picture, and I think people find it fun, find it interesting. I'm actually working on some new material right now that I'm very excited to share. It's a little different, than what I've been putting out. I've released a lot of music in the past, but my last three singles. My first single, I was signed to a label, and we released Tu Ausencia. We shot that video. We released that. It has kind of more of a tropical reggaeton feel. The second single, that was already me going independent. It's called Reemplazo, and that's more of a trap. It's keeping like the Latin vibe, but it's more like along the urban trap kind of thing. And then the latest single, Jugar al Amor, that has way more of a pop element to it. And for me, I don't want to corner myself into I'm this or I'm that, I'm only this or I'm only that. I speak English, I speak Spanish, I'm from Costa Rica, born in Costa Rica.
Ticos, los
raised,
ticos.
Tico, pura vida, man. Así está la cosa.
Pura vida.
No, but you know, it might not all be in Spanish. It might not all be in English, or it might not just be reggaeton. You know, you'll find, you know, my R&B influences in there. You'll find some pop, you know, references. You'll find the tropical side.
There's the tropical part of it. You know, when I heard it, it kind of gave me a sense of Juan Luis Guerra. Cuatro Cuarenta, you know, that's the kind of vibe that I got when I heard your music. It's got that tropical feel to it.
Yeah, man, that's like my first single has a lot more of that. It's more, you know, almost like Despacito before Despacito.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's got that very cool, tropical, non-threatening, you know what I mean, cool reggaeton.
And I love that music. I love that kind of music too.
It's like Despacito before Despacito came out, you know, and so it's something that I'm not scared to like visit all the spectrum of who I am, you know what I mean, and like I said, I'm not, at least at the moment, I'm not coming out with like a rock record and then like a jazz record, you know what I mean, but I'm staying within a realm that's me, but kind of giving you different sides of me and stuff. So I think people find that refreshing too. I think when I listen to music, I don't listen to just one genre for 1, 2, 3 hours. You know what I mean? I like to switch it up and stuff like that. So within my own music, I like to give that to people as well.
No, that's cool. And I'm wondering, since you've been working with J-Lo, will you be doing any collaboration with J-Lo anytime soon? Has there been any talks like that?
That would be a dream, man. We'll see. You know, I don't know. That would be amazing. That would be an honor for me to do that. So we'll have to see where we go from here. She's busy with the Super Bowl right now. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
I heard about that. That's going to be amazing.
That's going to be awesome. So right here, right now, top 5 people you'd love to work with, you know, in music.
Wow, man, that's a great question. I would love to work with Ed. I got a lot of respect for Zed. He's incredible. Mm-hmm. Get some songs from him, with him, collab with him, anything. He's dope. Pharrell. I love Pharrell. Pharrell is amazing. Timbaland. Just some of the most iconic, you know, people we've had in the industry. For me growing up, at least, you know. On the more like current tip, like I really, really have a lot of respect for Bad Bunny. On the Latino side, he's a little underrated in what he actually brings to the table. The guy's a great producer, great lyricist. You know, he's got his style and his lane, but man, he's a dope talent. This kind of left field. I'm a big fan of Alejandro Sanz. Like, I love Alejandro.
Alejandro Sanz. That is a little left field right there.
Yeah. That's kind of showing you where my brain is at.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like but Alejandro Sanz, I would love to somehow, like, at least maybe sit in a room with him and just watch his process, you know, and he's great. Man, there's so many people. I mean, I would love to work with Bruno Mars and their camp and just vibe that out and stuff too. Those are just some of the people that come to mind right away. Just
popped in your head right now. Justin Timberlake and everybody else. Yeah.
Justin Timberlake and his camp, you know, and Charlie Puth. I mean, there's a lot.
There's too many to name out there right now.
There's a lot of great people out there. Yeah.
Well, definitely. so obviously, I read that 2019 has been a very busy year for you. What's been going on in 2019? We talked about your past. We talked about, you know, what happened, you know, before you got into it. What's happening this year? We're almost at the end of this year. Obviously, you know, this whole year's been kind of busy. What's going on with this year? You know, now we're getting close to the end of the year. What's happening?
Well, I mean, this year's been really, really. It started out a little weird. Not certain about where things were headed, and I had put out this single that we're talking about, and then things just started rolling. I wasn't sure how people were going to feel about it, and you know, we went over 1 million views on it, and so it's been a lot. It's been a roller coaster, but it's been really, really positive. I mean, just got done with the tour with J-Lo, opening up the show, which is something that it's a lot. What it's been a lot of unexpected things coming my way, blessings and open doors that, it's a confirmation of when you work hard and you believe in what you're doing, and you got the right people around you, and you just believe, you push forward, good things will happen. Good things will happen. Doors will open. You just you got to stay at it, be persistent. And this year has been a confirmation of persistence, of working hard and just seeing things happen, man. Doors opening, being approached by.
So basically this year you're creating the foundation for 2020?
Pretty much. Yeah. I mean, I got songs in the pipeline that I'm very excited to share. Working on how we're moving forward in 2020. A lot of those moving parts that you're talking about, and finishing out the year with J-Lo, going back to Costa Rica next month, doing a couple of shows out there with the Costa Rican Philharmonic. And so it's been a really, really good year, man. It's been dope. So I'm excited because I got some new music coming out, and I'm just going for it.
I look forward to a lot of your new music videos in 2020. I'd love to do a follow-up with you on some of those, videos that are coming up. And JP, good luck in everything that you're doing. Again, I look forward to seeing your progression. Thanks again for being on the Xander Effect.
Thank you, man. Thank you for having me. It's been dope, man. Definitely we'll keep you in the loop on everything that's happening.
Excellent. Well, thanks again, JP. And again, man, we'll see you soon.
Right on, man. Appreciate it.
Later. Thanks, JP, for being on the Xander Effect. Looking forward to a lot more of your music and more music videos. One of your music videos will be showcased later on the Xander Effect. So all of you, stay tuned for that. In sports, man, what a crazy brawl that happened this past Thursday between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Cleveland Browns. So bad, this brawl, that Myles Garrett it was after the play was over, Myles Garrett tackled Mason Rudolph, and after the play was over, a scuffle began on the floor between Rudolph and Garrett, to the point that Garrett pulled Rudolph's helmet off, and actually, while they were being separated, Garrett swung Rudolph's helmet and hit him on top of his head. That's such a dangerous thing to do to somebody, because those helmets, they're there to protect, so they are very heavy, they are very thick, and getting hit with one of those things, I mean, it's knocked players out before whenever it comes to a helmet-to-helmet hit. You can imagine what it's like when someone's trying to swing it and bop you over the head with it. It was such a dangerous situation. The entire team got involved. Multiple suspensions happened, including Myles Garrett getting suspended indefinitely from playing any games without pay. Now, to me, this is a great suspension because what Myles Garrett did was incredibly dangerous. It could have really hurt somebody. It could have really, given Rudolph a concussion. Anything could have happened with that hit over the head with a helmet. Now, another player that was suspended was Maurice Pouncey. Pouncey was suspended because after the other players got Garrett to the floor, Pouncey came up and started kicking and hitting Garrett in the head with his cleats and everything. So he got suspended for 3 games actually, and another player got suspended for 1 game. Both Pouncey and Garrett are going to go ahead and appeal it, though I believe that Pouncey might actually be able to win his appeal, but I don't think Garrett's going to be able to win this appeal. I mean, it was all over, footage is all over the place about how he blatantly ripped off the helmet from Rudolph's head and hit him with it in that scuffle. So I doubt that the appeal is going to go Garrett's way, because it was incredibly dangerous, completely unsportsmanlike, and it was just that's not the way football is played. Granted, like Rudolph said in a post-game interview, this is a bush league, but still, that is way beyond what you need to do to a player. No matter how upset you are, that is way too much. So let's see what happens with those appeals, although I don't think it's going to go Garrett's way. In other sports news, CM Punk makes his triumphant return to the squared circle backstage at SmackDown. The former MMA the former MMA fighter, using that term very loosely, and former WWE champion has returned, has come home to the WWE, even though he did have a lot of things to say negatively about the company. Like after he left, he even sued them and won. But just like Hulk Hogan, everybody's allowed to come home, especially if ratings, if they need the ratings, they're going to go ahead and pull out all the stops. I mean, when he was introduced by Renee Young on SmackDown backstage, he came out with his music, came out with the strut and everything, and he quoted the camera right before they went off the air. Just when you think they have all the answers, I change the culture. Don't know what that means exactly. I don't know. It was, I guess, maybe it just came out the top of his head, because it looked like it came out the top of his head. But he's back, and I don't know. It seems like he's reaching. I mean, he has been known to do commentary for Fox Sports before, for UFC and things like that. But and since Fox and WWE have partnered up with each other to go ahead and show a lot of wrestling on their network, it goes. It pretty much. Is a no-brainer that they were going to bring in CM Punk to do some of this commentating, for a separate show for Fox. So we'll see what happens. Will he get back in the ring? I mean, he did talk in a podcast recently, saying how he really isn't wanting to get back in the ring. He'd rather do things backstage. Maybe that was just a pun on words. Who knows? Because he's on SmackDown backstage. So chances are he might just want to stay that way, just stay retired. Looks like he's happy with the way his life turned out. With he's happy with the things he did in MMA. Of course, he's happy with his career in the WWE, which is very successful. So obviously, maybe it's, maybe his way of saying, you know what, let's give the new generation their time to shine, their time in the spotlight. I'll stay back here and just enjoy the show from back here. So, we'll see what happens. Maybe there could be a storyline there where CM Punk comes back. Who knows? Because the other thing too is that he came out on SmackDown backstage to no audience, no pop. So maybe that's another thing that the WWE was worried about, to not announce his return at a live event, because they weren't sure if he was going to have a pop or not. Although I doubt it, because I think he would still have a pop. There was still a lot of people, especially if they do an event in Chicago, that place would erupt. Listening to his theme music and him coming out. So, but who knows what WWE is thinking? Maybe it was CM Punk's decision not to go out in front of a live audience, so that way he doesn't have that kind of pressure on him to be able to perform and come back and, like riding a bicycle, just get back into it. Who knows? Again, we don't know if there may be a storyline involved. We don't even know. Possibilities, maybe his wife might come back to the WWE, AJ Lee, she might make a return. Anything's possible at this point with CM Punk's return. We'll see what happens in the future. In video game news, Star Wars Fallen Jedi. Whoo, man, is that a good game. I've actually started playing it recently, and the storyline is incredible. It kind of reminds me a little bit of Assassin's Creed, especially because there's a lot of portions in the game where you have to jump, climb, and crawl, just like you would in Assassin's Creed. and there's also other portions of it that are very similar, which is that the more skill points you get, the more force powers you gain as you play through the game. And it's very similar to Assassin's Creed Odyssey, where they did the same thing, where the more skill, and Assassin's Creed Origins as well, where the more skills you gain, the more skills your assassin gains in the game. So it's very similar to that. The storyline is very, very good. And I'm not going to spoil it for anybody. Go ahead, play the game. You're going to love it, guaranteed. I'm hooked on it. I love a couple of the really cool parts where you get to be inside a ship and you actually see the ship take off, because there's like a window in front of you, so you get to see the ship take off and you see the ground take off, and suddenly the ship goes right like through the atmosphere, and then suddenly they jump to light speed and you see the lights coming. It was really, really cool. So I'm enjoying the game. Anybody that could buy it, it's not a multiplayer game, mind you, so get that out of your head right now. Unfortunately, it's not a multiplayer, but sometimes it's good to leave the multiplayer, area and go into single player. I love single players as well, so multiplayers, I love both multiplayers and single players, and this game offers amazing graphics, amazing storyline in its story and in its single players. So I'm looking forward to see what else happens in this game. It's still a long ways to go. So, in other video game news, Square Enix has announced that they will be putting a plethora of Final Fantasy games in via the Xbox Game Pass, which also includes Kingdom Hearts, the Kingdom Hearts games. Now, I don't know about you guys, Final Fantasy is cool. I like Final Fantasy, not really my style, although it has a pretty cool storyline. I'm a major fan of storylines. I love storylines. And Final Fantasy just doesn't do it for me as far as storylines are concerned, but Kingdom Hearts does. I actually really enjoyed that game when I was playing it for PlayStation, and it's an awesome game. It has a lot of Disney characters in it, has a lot of side missions, side games, mini games within the game, which is really cool. And I never actually got to finish the game, which kind of upsets me a little because I wanted to finish it. It's a really good story. It got so cool, so good that I wanted to finish the game, but I never got a chance to. And I never got a chance to play the sequel to Kingdom Hearts, so I'm happy that Xbox is bringing it to PlayStation. I've been waiting for this for a long time. I want to replay that game because I want to see what happens. Again, I'm a big storyline type of guy. I love it, so I'm looking forward to Square Enix introducing this into the Xbox Game Pass. And if it goes in the Xbox Game Pass, you know it's going to be in the Xbox Game Store, so I will definitely be buying that game, and I'm looking forward to playing that game as well. That's it for the Xander Effect. Thank you so much for joining this version of it. I leave you now with JP Castillo's Jugar al Amor. We'll see you next time.
Yeah. Ya nada de ti me impresiona, ey. Juegas con todos y los ilusionas, ey. Yeah. Pero conmigo no te va a funcionar, no, no, no. Ese jueguito yo me lo inventé, yeah. Si quieres jugamos a amarnos, gozamos sin lastimarnos, pero mañana nos olvidamos y lo repetimos si nos encontramos. ¿Qué quieres? Si apareces de la nada y te vas de repente, baby. Solo mírame a la cara y dime qué se siente saber que yo estoy dispuesto a jugar tu juego. Solo dime si lo tomas, porque si no, hasta luego, baby. Si apareces de la nada y te vas de repente, baby. Solo mírame a la cara y dime qué se siente saber que yo estoy dispuesto a jugar tu juego. noche corrido y mañana me despido y me llamas cuando sientas que ya no aguanta y quieres conmigo y te saco los gemidos, pero por favor de mí no te enamores, que ya no estoy para un mundo de colores, ahora estoy viviendo momentos mejores, solito y sin compromiso, así que no me llores. ¿Qué quieres? Si apareces de la nada y te vas de repente, baby, solo mírame a la cara y dime qué se siente saber que yo estoy dispuesto a jugar tu juego. Solo dime si lo tomas, porque si no, hasta luego, baby. Si apareces de la nada y te vas de repente, baby, solo mírame a la cara y dime qué se siente saber que yo estoy dispuesto a jugar tu juego. Solo dime si lo tomas, porque si no, hasta luego, baby. Si quieres jugamos a amarnos, gozamos sin lastimarnos, pero mañana nos olvidamos y lo repetimos si nos encontramos. ¿Qué quieres? Si apareces de la nada y te vas de repente, baby, solo mírame a la cara y dime qué se siente saber que yo estoy dispuesto a jugar tu juego.
Hi guys, thanks a lot for watching this episode of the Xander Effect. Now, if you like this video or any of my other videos, here's a couple right here. See? Right here. They're right here. Go ahead and click on those to view some of my past videos and make sure to subscribe because it's awesome. See you next time on the Xander Effect. And don't forget to follow me on Twitter and Instagram.